On today's episode of Kilts or Culture with USA Kilts, we try the Scotch Malt Whisky Society's Duelling Banjos. Howdy, boys and girls. Welcome to Kilts and Culture. I am Rocky. This is Erik.
Yo, yo.
Today, special treat. We have, just like every week, or month, whatever, however often we do this. Our good friend Doug Carl brought us a couple different scotches. This is the first one that we're going to try. The Scotch Malt Whisky Society, established the Vaults, Leith, Scotland. Well, no. This is their Dueling Banjos Dram. So, I'm very curious about this. Yeah, so we're going to give this a go today. Mr. Mac, while I start opening this up with my blind self, why don't you give us some of the notes there on Dueling Banjos.
On Dueling Banjos Dram, the unreduced nose had a definite kick, burning driftwood by boat sheds, canvas and leather like a straitjacket, and suckling salty smoke over oyster shells in a hookah pipe.
That is pretty obscure.
Specifically a hookah pipe.
It specifically says a hookah pipe.
And a straitjacket.
And a straitjacket.
I think somebody's trying to be a little bit too clever.
I think someone needs a straitjacket for that description.
Aren't we a clever boots?
There's a lot of flavors, as I say in here. We got some honey, we got some pear, we got some citrus, we got some vanilla, we got some lime pickle, we've got some coal dust.
Lime pickle?
Coal dust?
Coal dust.
Coal dust, lime pickle?
Methinks thou doth protest too much.
Okay, this is going to be yours.
Yeah, okay.
Mr. Mac, if you would, come get your pickle juice or whatever this thing is here.
It's a
coal dust pickle.
Chewing on a straitjacket. I'm still on that.
It's very, very, very light.
I'm just imagining
color-wise.
I can't get the image of somebody like trying to gnaw their way out of a straitjacket now. It's like, you know what? This would make a great scotch.
These leather straps. They restrain so well.
Yeah, there's still all kinds of other notes on here as well.
It keeps going.
Yeah, offering a big, sweet, nutty smoke, licorice, toffee, and dark chocolate.
Did they just play like Scotch Scrabble and just mix up the bowl with all the words?
It's a random tasting notes generator.
But tastier than expected, fruity flavors swirling around in a briny, oily puddle, and chipotle and Tabasco tingling away in the mouth.
This better be damn good. I will fly to Scotland and I will slap that writer if this is not the most amazing thing I've ever.
All right.
So what color would you say that is?
I would rather not say.
It's watered down Bud Light. That's
not where my brain went.
According to the sheet, the official color is moon pool.
Moon pool?
Moon pool. I don't remember seeing that in my Pantone list in school, but
it's not showing up as well as I'd like it to on the camera there. Here, let me do this. I'm gonna hold up against a white background, and this is light. This is really, really light color.
This is making jokes about American beer color, if you get my meaning.
Yeah, it's recycled beer.
All right.
All right.
Okay. There we go.
Indeed. All right, give it a shot. Very, very woody. Very burny.
It's got a bit of a burn.
Yeah.
It's super sweet.
Yeah, it was
Are
like
you picking up the sweetness?
Sweetie fruity to begin with, and then she comes.
Yeah,
the description's
and
kind
then
of
she
right.
comes around the mountain.
I can taste the coal dust. It's it tastes like Scranton in central Pennsylvania.
Like a Centralia mine fire.
Oh,
in your mouth.
You're not wrong. For those that don't know, Centralia is a town in Pennsylvania that's been on fire forever under the ground.
Yep.
Yeah.
I don't know, man.
Yeah.
It's like sugar and then burn. I'm having trouble picking up other...
Is that a new band?
Burn, sugar, burn.
It's like
Coal
a
fire and
Lollapalooza
burn,
band.
oh, burn, sugar, burn.
We're obviously in a very serious, studious mood today, everyone. So
I was trying to be like I had high hopes for this. I thought it was going to be like very, I don't know, very good and studious and
I'm just confused by it.
yeah.
I'm not all the burn. I'm gonna water it because the burn is.
Yeah.
I'm not getting any of these
Yeah.
amazing bajillion different tasting notes that they're trying to tell me are there.
All right.
I want to
may
do a
even have to
dramatic
water
reading
more.
of those tasting notes. I want to put on like a powdered wig,
As William
stand up at a.
as William Shatner.
Oh, we could do that
That's-
too. That'd be good. A cigarette.
You're not gonna do this, Christopher Walken?
Like a coal mine on fire. Yeah. I can't do Shatner. I really can't.
You just have to pause at random spots in the sentence, Eric.
It's a breathiness that does it too.
It does.
Yeah.
Indeed.
Yeah. Cool.
We do Christopher Walken as well. I don't know. Nah, I'm done. All right.
It's still burning. Like
Smooth. Smooth. I'm gonna add a little bit
Pardon me.
more. I'm gonna make it like a Scotch
Like a
cocktail.
shandy.
Yeah. Mac, what are your thoughts on the flavor profiles there? Not just the scent.
The
You're really loving it, huh?
it's not my day, dude. Guess I'm a lightweight.
I don't know. I like this, but I have a sweet tooth. I like the sweet beginning,
As do I. I have a
but
sweet
it's
tooth, yeah.
definitely it is coming in hard at the end though.
Yeah. I'm feeling it all the way down.
And I think adding the water actually lessened the sweet a little bit.
Well, yeah, that would stand to reason, right?
Jonathan King put like a fine charcoal.
It's a lot of charcoal and a lot of smoke.
Okay, I finally added enough water so I can taste some other things, but I put in more water than I've ever put in before.
Yeah.
So-
Yeah. Not recommended in general.
So now I'm getting the iodine flavor that they want to call is coal dust.
Okay.
I never really paid any attention to the nose, to be honest.
Do you have the proof there? Some are asking what the proof is.
Proof is 60.8%. So that's 120 proof. So that is a bit high.
That's a bit nuts.
That's okay. That's a very good observation,
explains
people out there. Yeah. Yeah, that's damn. 60.8?
Go easy there, Chief. This is gonna be.
This show's
Everybody
getting interesting.
Stay around for the second half of the show. It's gonna be awesome. I don't.
Burning driftwood.
You get anything
boat
from the
sheds,
nose like they're talking
canvas,
about?
leather, and salty
Because
smooth.
I'm just like, I just smell alcohol.
Yeah, it's
I'm just smelling alcohol. Okay, a little bit of the tannins, but
Yeah, they went over the rainbow. It's there's a certain point in the arc where it's ideal. This is down the other side and around the bend, and it's the ooh man, I'm still feeling the burn. Yeah. Like,
Is
I
there-
need, I
is
need
there
to
a
water down the
rule-
stuff I've drank so far.
is there a rule that there's an inverse proportion between how flowery the tasting notes on a Scotch are and how good it is? Because remember, Grandpa's. For those of you who weren't with us in the last
Grandpa?
one, Grandpa Still's Celtic whiskey moonshine, and his tasting notes were just like simple, to the point, and dead on.
Well,
And
this
now
is
we have like leathery undergarments from the 100 Years' War combined with
a burning shed
Yes.
by the ocean.
your grandmother's Kilt collection.
Kelp collection.
Kilt collection, yes.
Yeah, this is. I'm going to drink it out of respect to our friend who gave it to us. But Doug, don't do this to me again. I'm hoping the other one's better. We have another one back there.
Yeah,
somewhere.
no offense meant
Yeah.
to the gifter
Yeah,
at
yeah, yeah.
all. And if
We're
anybody,
honest.
if anybody likes this out there, and tell us why. Tell us what we're missing.
Tell us what
I mean,
the
I'll
hell's
let-
wrong with you.
I'll let it. I'll let this breathe, and maybe a half hour from now, I'll like it better.
Yeah,
But
that's fair. Maybe if some of the alcohol
you
evaporates
did not
off a little bit.
You did not let the bottle rest this time. You just
Yeah,
cold
yeah,
open.
Yeah. I
so
know.
to say.
I did it for the gram, son.
Yeah.
It's
Like the guy jumping in the Schuylkill.
Yeah, idiots. But the yeah, I'm gonna pour a little bit more, and I'll let it rest. We'll see.
Yeah.
Well, I'll finish this first, then I'll do that. The oh, it's gonna hurt.
This is sweet and burning.
This is like coming in from splitting wood or getting the wood in a cold morning and just needing to wake yourself up.
Yeah.
Wake
Type
up in the
thing.
morning, boy.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Don't wake you up in the morning, boy.
You know, I'm actually looking forward to firing up my wood stove for the first time this year. Mm-hmm. So the summer has just been so brutal here. I am actually ready for winter.
That sip wasn't too bad. I wasn't
Yeah.
getting the at the end kind of there.
Okay.
It's I think it'll mellow out. I think it will.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well,
Water helped.
water.
A good amount of water helped.
Water.
It's a small pool, but all right. But we gotta rate it. We gotta go. You know, we can't. We can't let it.
I'm
we
ready to
can't-
move on.
I know.
I'm already out of here,
We
man.
can't let it sit forever and judge it based on that. We can add a secondary rating later if we change our minds. Mm-hmm. Because they open it up or whatever. Mac, 1 to 10. What are we rating? The Scotch Malt Whiskey Society Dueling Banjos. Now, in fairness, if I'm thinking dueling banjos, I'm thinking like moonshine. I'm thinking like backwoods. I'm thinking burning alcohol.
It does
I'm
hit
thinking
those
high
things.
percentage.
Yeah. Yeah.
It falls in line with that, maybe.
But
So-
is that pleasurable? That's.
I
the
didn't
question.
say it's good. I said it's. I'm thinking
Yeah.
about it.
Yeah.
So, Mac, what are your thoughts? Score of 1 to 10.
My initial out of the bottle having it right away was I liked the sweetness, but I didn't like the harshness at the end. So my initial out of the bottle was like a 2.7. The water adding to it, I felt the sweetness had gone away that I liked, but the burn had gone away as well. So I'm only going to bring it up a little bit to a 3.4.
Okay. So 3.4 final resting score. All right, Mr. Erik.
I was gonna say like 3.7 or 3.8. 3.8. The only thing that saves it for me is I could see it as a ingredient in a very restorative hot toddy. I would mix this with a fair amount of honey and or maple syrup and
Tea or whatever.
Bengal spice tea,
Okay.
and that would be good for your chest on a cold
Okay.
day.
Okay. I don't get like the full sinus clearing that I would want for like in front. You know, you've shoveled snow for 2 hours and you come in and you're cold and chilled to the bone and you just need a little nip. I don't get the head clearingness from this. Yeah, I'm roundabout where you guys are. I'm gonna give it a firm 3.6. I reserve the right to change my mind later after we let it rest and kind of gas off a little bit. But I'm at about a 3.6.
Is that where did we rate the smokehead? Do you remember? That was a long time ago.
Smokehead was low.
It was super low. That was like the worst thing ever.
Yeah. It was like
is like-
too much. It was over the rainbow down the road. It was that was bad.
This is like either.
I think
just-
Smokehead was in the 2s.
Yeah, so this is like
Yeah.
our second worst rating. I'm suspecting this might be our second worst rating.
Yeah,
ever.
it's gonna be close. Yeah, so. I will say this: we appreciate the gift. What this is an example of is we're going to be honest. We are going to give you our actual thoughts. So please don't take offense. We do still appreciate the fact that you guys send us random things to try on the show. Sometimes we love it, sometimes we don't. Mm-hmm. It is what it is. Okay. That being said, boys and girls, throw in all your questions, whatever questions, comments, whatever you have for us. We will happily answer you as honestly as possible, as honest as we are about this scotch. Mr. Erik, while they're loading in questions and Mac is controlling the boards over there with our good friend Adam, why don't you jump in and give us a question?
Okay. Okay.
Great question. Yes.
I'm gonna jump right to this one at the top of my list. Ellie Steele, just this morning, asked us, do you have any idea behind the Gordon clan's Blue Gordon tartan? One side of my family are Gordons, and I know the clan Tartans, she says pretty well, except for Gordon Blue. I can't find much information online, so I thought I'd ask you guys. Thanks.
Gordon Blue is a little bit of a weird one. I knew that Loch Carron, as far as stock supporting, Loch Carron was the only mill that offered Gordon Blue as a tartan offering. And I was like, I've never researched it. So I have notes. I'm prepared.
Ta-da.
I looked it up at the tartan register. I just searched on Gordon, went through the whole thing, and there is no Gordon Blue in the register. The tartan that I think it is, it's essentially the same thing, but they're missing Loch Carron is missing the 2 black guards on the yellow stripe, is called Robert Gordon University. So it is a Gordon-esque, we'll call it.
Gordon-esque.
Gordon-esque. I'm going to read you the notes, and there's a reason why, so stick with me. Designed by Mike King of Philip King Kilt Makers in Aberdeen, in July 2007, a photograph of the tartan was sent in for identification, the tartan having been bought many years ago in Langholm from the Edinburgh Wool Mill as a scarf. That photo is clearly of this tartan, which could place in doubt its current attribution. I'm going to point something out. This is kind of a living, breathing, evolving thing. So the tartan is recorded in the register. It is not Gordon Blue in the register as Loch Carron calls it, but it is, what's next called again? Robert Gordon University. Now, in fairness to the Scottish Tartan Register, it was actually recorded back in 97, so that would have been the STA, the Scottish Tartans Authority, as well as the Scottish World Tartan Register. And it's one of those where there's no clear, easy to point to origin of it. There are some things that are kind of, they come in a weird way where it's not, I don't even really know where I'm going with it. It's not exactly what it's called, but it ends up being called something or kind of loosely lumped into a clan. And it's just the evolution of it, and it speaks to the misty origins, if you will, of many of the tartans, and the effort after the fact through TICA, through the STA, through the SDWR, to kind of catalog the things that are out there and for posterity and for going forward. We talked about this briefly. What were the other things we talked about?
Yeah, I think basically your main reaction earlier was that there's a propensity for people to come up with new tartans for commercial reasons to slap a clan name on them for whatever reason. Either they think the design looks similar to an existing clan tartan, or they think that they can borrow some cachet by using a clan name. That's the main thing I remember from our discussion.
Yeah, it's one of those where the tartans exist now, or plaids, or generic, or universal, whatever you want to call them, fashion tartans, if you will. Mm-hmm. And some companies will come out with it and don't want to register it, but the tartan register's job is to kind of find those, and has historically been, to find those and catalog them for time immemorial.
Right.
Now, the issue that I personally take with it is in a company using a clan name and then associating that with a tartan that they've just kind of made up. One example I'll give is the Hamilton Grey. It's a tartan that's generally woven in Pakistan, and this isn't bashing Pakistan, it's bashing the process, where somebody said, okay, we have to give it a name. What do we call this? So instead of calling it's the Hamilton Grey tartan, as it is shown, which unfortunately we don't have a picture here, we'll put one in later here. The Hamilton Grey is a black and gray tartan that is generally woven in Pakistan, and they just gave it that name. There's no real rhyme or reason. It kind of has the Hamilton sett, but it's not the Hamilton tartan. It's not been officially blessed by the clan chief of Clan Hamilton, but it is a tartan that now exists, and it's been given the name Hamilton, but it's not a real Hamilton tartan. This is where I have a problem. if you call it, Grey Spirit of Scotland, or the Grey Spirit, or Misty Scottish Isle, or something, and you want to have a marketing name and attribute a marketing type Scottish feel name to it, that's fine. Marketing exists, and we have our own tartans that we market. The sterling tartan, which is silver color, silver shades kind of thing. So that's fine, that exists, but there's a more honorable way to do it than trying to lump it onto a clan name that's existing, that it has nothing to do with that particular clan name. Does that make sense?
Yeah, I mean, I get the impression that a lot of time they're trying to start with a known set as the basis of their inspiration, and they change it, and they keep changing it, and they change it so much that, like, the Gordon Blue one, I wouldn't recognize as Gordon if I saw it anywhere. You know? I mean, so it's I think probably to give them the benefit of the doubt, I think a lot of time they are starting with some clan tartan they like the look of, and then tweaking it. And there's an old tradition of people tweaking older tartans to create new tartans, and those sometimes have become clan tartans in the past.
Everything is Black Watch.
Yeah, seriously. It's just that it's I mean, just once once you've separated it by like 5 or 6 or a million degrees, you gotta give it a different name.
Yeah,
I agree.
Exactly. There's honoring an existing tartan and tweaking it, and then putting the name into as a nod towards the name or in the explanation of the tartan. That's fine, but just utilizing the clan name seemingly for no other reason other than marketing purposes, or just to give it a name, it does a disservice. It cheapens, it waters down the heritage. It waters down the Hamilton tartans that exist, because that isn't really a Hamilton tartan. The same kind of thing, and I'll beat up Loch Karen a little bit, and I don't know the full backstory of it. But it's one of those where it's like, why it's not a real officially blessed Gordon tartan, so I'm confused why it exists. As I said, Loch Karen's the only mill that carries it. So I don't know. It's a weird one.
It's a nice looking tartan. It's not really exciting, but it's the color palette is kind of nice. Yeah. So I think I don't know where the name on the registry came from. I mean, university implies that it came from some school or something, or maybe the scarf that the photograph was taken of came from a university. Yeah. I mean, it's kind of like...
Or maybe Philip King designed it for, or Michael King, whoever it was, designed it for the university, or used it from the university, or registered it because he was a scarf that somebody bought at the university at some point. There may be a non-nefarious reason why it was recorded as such. Why Loch Karen doesn't sell it as that, but they sell it as Gordon Blue, don't know.
Well, I could guess. If they called it university, people might think it was associated with a school, and they wouldn't want that association.
Fair point.
They'd be afraid, oh, well, I'm not from that school. I guess I can't really buy that.
Yeah, but why would they weave it then?
Because it looks nice.
It's not their usual MO, though.
Okay. Well, so, call them up and ask.
I will.
I mean, the exception is that sometimes through wanton usage, as you put it, sometimes an oddball tartan will wind up becoming a de facto official tartan, right?
Yeah. It can exist. Like the Irish tartans, the Irish national tartan, there's some of the Welsh ones. It's through wanton usage, WONT, want and usage. Something becomes official. The military tartans, the U.S. Army, U.S. Navy, U.S. Marines, Coast Guard, Air Force, all of them. Those tartans exist, and none of them are official, but because they are used and people use it as a symbol of their service to the armed forces, they've kind of over time become unofficially official. There's no like second Air Force tartan or second Army tartan. It's just the Army tartan, and those in the Army know what it looks like if you want to wear a kilt.
Yeah.
So
pretty much.
Indeed. I think that answers the question.
Yeah, I think the bottom line is Ellie, if you really love that tartan and you want to wear it, there's no reason not to. I would just be circumspect about telling people it's a clan tartan, which I think you're already on that page. So,
well, I think she would be safe as an individual. Calling it Gordon Blue, because that's what Loch Karen calls it. Mm-hmm. So I'd say this is the Gordon Blue tartan if someone asked me. But it is not an officially recognized one, which I think she was sort of trying to get at.
Yeah, she's trying to do the right thing, I think.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, interesting one. Very good, random, weirdo tartan.
Good conversation
Good
starter.
talk. Yeah, absolutely. I'm going to pour some more and let this breathe and see what happens. I'm not drinking it now. Don't
What's
worry.
going to happen is your ears are going to glow and your head's going to explode.
Not that much.
Okay. Stop. That doesn't help.
I'm not trying to help. I'm trying to annoy you.
Oh, Jeff Z asked us several questions. But, so we had to pick a couple of them and spread them out. This one was, what do your wives wear when the two of you go out? Do they wear slacks, skirts, dresses, kilted skirts? Does she ever match a tartan or what you're wearing? So,
what do our wives wear? It's...
My wife won't be seen with me in public, so it's a non-issue.
That's a fair point. It's a very fair point. My wife does not do the matchy thing necessarily. Tone maybe, but not matchy. And she is her own person. She's her own individual. I don't try to control what she wears any more than she tries to control what I wear.
But what about for fun? Would she ever do? Okay.
For fun, it depends on the event. So I'll put it that way.
Mm-hmm.
For our wedding, I had on the Scott Green weathered tartan, and so did the groomsmen. For the bride's side, the bridesmaids, they all wore Stuart dress weathered because it matched tonally with the Scott Green weathered, so it all kind of tied together. Even though it was two different tartans, it worked. Mm-hmm. If we go to an event where we both have to, like a black tie kind of event, not that I really go to that many black tie events, but if I go to a black tie event, she will probably wear something to tone well with what I am wearing. Not necessarily match, but at least go with it. Mm-hmm. So we don't clash. So we look like we belong together, although we are not, the Kramers, good customers of ours who wear the exact same tartan every time they go out in their tartans. So we're not quite that matchy, but we'll do, intentional toning. Now, if we're going out to a date night and I want to wear a kilt and she wants to wear a dress, I don't care whether I'm in, this kilt, I have on now, the Celtic Nations, or whether I'm in, law enforcement. It doesn't matter what tartan I'm wearing. If she wants to wear a bright pink and orange Lily Pulitzer dress, I don't care. It's whatever she wants to wear and whatever I want to wear. I don't tell her, no, how dare you wear that when I'm wearing this tartan, and vice versa. So it depends on the circumstance. Mm-hmm. Thoughts? Mm-hmm. Enlighten us.
Mm-hmm. My wife doesn't match me at all. Not tartan-wise. She doesn't wear tartan. Bottom line. She has some Welsh heritage, but she is a classic all-American mutt, and she's just never really grooved on tartan. So we will sometimes play with color to be complementary, like you were saying. But tartans and plaids have never been really a part of her wardrobe. So, we will do the matchy thing in terms of tone of the event. Like if we're doing something heathen, we'll both wear something with the brooms on it or something. Or if we're doing, I have a couple of nice pictures of us from Victorian and steampunk events where we're both in, turn of the century kind of a kit. But never does she put on a tartan to match me.
Right.
So. She's her own person. So
funny that.
Yeah,
how women have their own personalities and lives.
Weird. Now that said, I think we've touched on the various options that ladies will consider when they're doing this, and I could see that if we were going to if we were heavily involved with a clan society or something like that, I'm sure that we would probably try to both have the clan tartan on it, and she would probably get really creative with it. So there's tons and tons of options. You can kind of let your imagination go these days. The most simple and traditional option, of course, is the sash, for certain occasions like that. Again, like if you're going to a clan gathering or, an evening event. But it could be as simple as a rosette, or you can go crazy with it and do tartan everything. Yeah,
tartan dress jacket or skirt or whatever. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Mac, did you have something to jump in with, or were you just coughing to cough?
No, I downed the rest of my glass.
That good, huh?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
But let's put you on the spot. What about Brittany? What does Brittany ever do?
avoid me.
Right.
She
I
becomes
love my wife.
she becomes more of the protecting mode, and like she will kind of watch everybody else. But as far as like what she's wearing, it's just everyday stuff.
Okay.
Nothing. I mean, right now she's a human submarine, so
Right.
it's she's
She's
love.
pregnant. So human submarine. Yes.
So yeah,
Glass navel with a little kid's eye poking out. Yes.
so she'll love that comment. But
Fair. Brittany.
it just depends where we're going. Most times just jeans and a nice top.
So she's pretty cash for most things you do.
Yeah.
Totes.
Yeah. Yeah. Now I do know she's done reenactment with you, so. Yeah. Not always jeans and a t-shirt.
No, she's kind of put that to the side since our first kid. So
Got it.
Right. Okay. All right, Mr. Mack, while you're up on the screen there,
yeah.
what else do we got going on?
Well, something else since we were on this theme here. Semi-Centurion on YouTube is asking, can you explain the origin of a grouse foot kilt pin?
Semi-centurion, so he's kind of a centurion.
There's only 50 of them.
like part-time. It's,
Yeah.
Yeah. Origin of a grousefoot kilt pin. Grousefoot kilt pin is traditional. It's hunting grouse is a thing in Scotland. They're not big fans of guns in the UK. However, they do go hunting on occasion. And quail and grouse are two of the things that they often go after as far as game. I don't know. Do you know what the origins
I understand
of it
some
are?
people have argued that it was always meant to be a hat pin, and then was used as a kilt pin after the fact by some people. You definitely see it in a hat pin form a lot if you find it in antique stores and thrift markets and stuff like that. But other than that, I've always wondered about it. It's a good question. I haven't found, not that I've spent a week looking for it either, to be honest, but I haven't found any solid documentation on it being representative of anything or having a specific origin. And it's possible it actually was a hat pin originally, but I don't mind looking into it, but don't have a solid origin story for it.
Yeah, off the cuff.
Yeah,
Not sure. One thing, if this is your first time watching the show, one thing you will learn about us: if we don't know, we're not going to pretend we know. Like we're not going to BS you. It's we don't know. We would have to do more research on it.
Yeah.
So that's our answer for that one. Is it's historical, it's traditional, yes. Typically, the grouse foot's down. There's a little bit of a jewel up top.
Yeah.
It's typically worn with the jewel up and the foot, the toes down. But I'm not sure.
I guarantee you it's probably a late Victorian, early, Edwardian to turn of the century kind of a thing.
Yeah,
That's
it's been
probably
around
when
for
it
a
came
while.
about. It just feels like a Victorian folly to me, but most kilt pins are really. So I don't know any other.
Yeah. There's no in-depth thing that we know about it
Yeah.
at this point. We'll do research. If we find something interesting, we'll figure out a little video about it.
I'll say this: I would say it should be considered day wear, not evening wear. I'll go that far.
I don't know. With the jewel?
I don't know.
I don't know there, buddy boy.
Yeah, it's got jewel, but it's like a piece of dead animal. I don't know. It's, doesn't feel right.
Full mask sporran can be formal.
Yeah, okay. I don't know, just something about it doesn't feel... Now, an ermine foot, maybe, but...
Herman's my friend. How dare you, sir? You
Got it.
I can't believe you.
Next question.
Mac, let's do another one.
Oh.
Do another one for Mac.
Okay.
All right.
He's had two short ones.
Okay.
Trying to spread it out. Put him on the spot now. He's
So, all right. So I've got it here. So James is asking, still seeking an answer to his quandary. Why are sporrans one size fits all? Wouldn't it be better to have small, medium, large, extra large to better match the size / shape of the individual wearing it, as with the cut and trim of formal / evening wear? I think this would make for a better fit.
I will take that question directly to the sporran makers in Scotland and ask them.
I would say this. I don't think he's necessarily wrong.
No, I don't think he's wrong, but I think it's a marketing thing. I don't think they want to make multiple sizes.
It's a marketing thing and it's a sales thing.
Yeah.
Forget them they would make whatever we want them to make.
Yes, but are you?
It's
going to,
more
is
the
it-
retailers.
Right.
Do they want to carry small, medium, large
Right.
of X number of sporrans?
Right.
And then on top of that, specifically with the cantle of a sporran, where it's a lot more money. It's not just like the cost of a die to make one, shape, a stamping die for leather. The cantle is a fixed size, fixed thing. And if you are going to make a small, medium, large dress sporran, you'll need 3 sizes. Even if it's just medium and large, you'll still need 2 sizes of a cantle, which means you have to carry twice the inventory.
or 3 times the inventory.
Yeah, and it's one of those where it gets too costly, and it's close enough already. For day sporrans, for other things, we've had guys on odd, rare occasions ask for a slightly larger sporran or whatever, because they have big mitts, just big old hands. Now, what they usually are actually asking is not for an increased width, increased height. They're actually asking for an increased gusset, the depth of the sporran. They don't want it to be 1.5 inches wide. They want it to be 2 inches or deep. They want it to be 2 inches deep because they gotta get their hand in there and get their hand on more stuff. On occasion, somebody will be just like, Andre the Giant size, just, 6'8", 350 pounds, just a huge human. And they may want a slightly wider, slightly taller sporran. If it's a day sporran or a semi-dress, that is much easier to do. If it is a dress sporran, again, it's one of those where the cantle is kind of a limiting factor of it.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Yeah, that makes sense. I see what he's saying about proportion. I mean, we have definitely had some bigger customers where a regular size sporran looks small.
Yeah.
Conversely, we've occasionally had very small stature customers where a sporran looks large or ungainly. I think maybe once I recommended like a kid-sized
A large
sporran.
kid sporran, yeah.
For a gentleman. So you're not wrong. It's just I'm not sure if the industry can support or is ready to support the options.
Yeah. We're already on niche market. As much as we love this, as much as we do it every single day, we're already a niche market. And if you go into, too many segmentations, it gets unsustainable as far as a carrying of stock kind of thing. I think you're right. It's even then, and I will also say a wider guy who is 5'10" would still look fine with a regular sporran, a regular sized dress sporran, day sporran, whatever. Now, somebody, again, back to the Andre the Giant, comparison, somebody who is 6'8" and huge, they may do a little bit better with trying to get something custom made, but just like size, 18 custom shoes that Shaquille O'Neal wears, you're going to have it custom made. Custom made is a lot more money. So there's not enough people on the huge O-meter, official measuring of people. There's not enough people on the huge O-meter on the far end of the spectrum to really warrant a much bigger size. Even if it's a little bit small on a big dude, it's generally still within the realms of acceptability. Mac, you had something you wanted to say?
Yeah, there's a comment here also. Some people are asking about like tactical pouches and some of the more non-traditional sporrans. Like, how do they factor into the same thing? Because some of them are larger. Like, they remind me of like camera bags almost in a sense.
Yeah, that's a lot. I think bear in mind a lot of those are basically just like molly pouches and stuff that have been repurposed to make them look like sporrans. They take a regular tactical bag of some kind and they throw some tassels on it and a couple of D-rings on the back and call it a sporran. So
or just use a straight tactical bag as a sporran.
Right. I'm just saying that I've seen people who market those as sporrans by adding a couple of decorations. They're going to be much more forgiving because it's nylon. It's much more loosey-goosey, flexible. So if that works for your situation, then yeah, absolutely, no reason not to go for it. I wouldn't wear it to the St. Andrews dinner.
Yes, it doesn't look... It looks like you're trying to either put your own take on a heritage garment, on a heritage thing, or you're trying to monkey around with the heritage, which isn't necessarily bad. I'm just saying it doesn't look traditional using my air quotes.
I don't think they're worried about that. That's at the totally at the pragmatic end of the spectrum.
Practical, pragmatic, yes.
Yeah.
But I took the original question as more, I'm trying to do more traditional heritage.
I think he
why can't I get something bigger?
So I think he was hoping for traditional stuff that would look better.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Yeah. So maybe, sort of, kind of, you may end up paying some more money, but it'll probably be custom if you want something a little bit bigger. I would caution, don't go too big, because then it looks comically large. So again, using the Andre the Giant, if you are 350 pounds and 6'8", maybe increase it maybe by an inch in the width and an inch in the height. You don't need that much to make it proportionately a little bit bigger to your frame.
Yep. Yeah, I mean, you just maybe that there's a traditional sporran called a sporran malach, which is basically like a very wide. They call it a lap sporran because it's just very wide and it had a huge amount of goat fur on it. So it looks like you just like took the half animal and just like stuck it on in front of you. And those haven't come back into fashion for a reason. I think it's a bit much, but you never know. Never say never. Maybe sporran malachs will come back.
Or full on just goat carcass on your crotch.
Or like the guy with the Wookiee head or the Ewok head, sporran.
There you go.
Yeah.
Maybe one of those.
Yeah.
No, please don't. All right, Mr.
Is
Erik.
it my turn now?
Yes, it's your turn now.
All right. Okay.
Han, you're in carbonite.
Stop. I'm trying to concentrate.
Never.
Brian Taylor asked us, how does set size affect the pleat size and or number of pleats? I'm going to very quickly explain set size.
Sure. The set size of a pattern is where the pattern repeats. So in the kilt that I am wearing, it's from like this white stripe to the next time you see a white stripe, which is just off, or dead center on the bottom there. That's the set size. So the bigger the set size, within reason, the bigger the set size, the wider the pleat if you're going to pleat the kilt to the actual set. Now, there are most kilts, most tartans have about a 6 to 8 inch set size. They generally fall within that. So if you want to pleat it to the set, and you are an average size guy, 40 inch waist, 44 hips, you're using a 7 inch set. Your pleats may be 0.9 inches wide at the bottom of the fell. If you have a 9 inch set, they may be 1 inch wide at the bottom of the fell with the same exact measurements. If you have a 6 inch set, they may be 0.8 inch wide at the bottom of the fell. It's the balancing act. Alternatively, you have either pleats a little bit wider or pleats a little bit narrower in the depth or shallower in the depth. Where it kind of falls apart is the art of kilt making, is the art of pleating. And Matt can kind of grimace and comment on this if he likes. The Aberdeen tartan from La Karen has a 14 inch set size. If I am trying to pleat to the actual set of a 14 inch set, each pleat is going to be about 1 3/4 to 2 inches wide. And that is not ideal for making a kilt. And you're going to end up, instead of having 30 pleats, at like 15 or 17 pleats, which is a very small number of pleats. So it's very much the art of kilt making is in the balance. It's in the balance of measuring the individual, the size of the set, the size of the pleats, the depth of the pleats, and making it all kind of work so that it works for the individual and it still gives a pleasant look across the back. And if you have a super wide set where you can't pleat like Aberdeen to the full set, then finding a pattern within it and pleating it to random stripes to make it still look nice across the back or mimic the set without being the true set. Mac, do you have any other insight on that one, how it's a balance?
Yeah, no, yeah.
Outside of hating Aberdeen.
I mean, Now that I've kind of got a grasp for it after doing it several times, like it's one of those like there's certain tartans you get and you just sit there and you stare at it and you're just like, I don't get it, and then all of a sudden one day it clicks. Like Aberdeen, I get now, and I struggle with Ross for a while too. In
ABAC kind of tartan. Yeah,
and that one it goes a lot smoother now too. Now I get to see that frustration in some other kilt makers as they look at it. One being a Ross too.
You're not going to help them. That's very nice of you, Mac.
But no, that one's fun.
Yeah. Okay. Any thoughts?
No.
Or, no. Okay. Erik doesn't make kilts, so.
I don't can.
Yes, exactly. All right. Was that you or Mac?
That was me.
All right, Mr. Mac.
Well, before we read the next question, what are the tartans we're all wearing?
What do you got on there back behind the old camera there,
What you
Mac?
got back
I
there?
have on St. Andrews today. Earl of St. Andrews.
Earl of St. Andrews tartan. Very nice, very nice. Two-tone blue with a little bit of white stripes. Beautiful.
And why would you be wearing that?
Well, I'm obviously wearing it with my Penn State shirt today.
Rocking the Penn State
because
gear
we got a game on Saturday that we're probably gonna lose. But hey, we'll be there.
Yeah.
We will absolutely be there.
Yes.
Mr. Erik.
Alaska State Seal. My favorite.
Lovely.
One of my favorites. Because blue.
Indeed. That's a lot of blue.
It is a lot of blue.
Yeah.
I dig it.
That's light blue.
Yep.
I have on the Celtic Nations tartan, which is one of the ones that we designed. It is one of my favorite red-based tartans. Slightly darker red than a like bright scarlet. So it's still nice, but it's still got a lot of vibrant colors in it.
That would look really good muted.
You can happily pay for a full bolt. I will weave it. You guys heard it here first. Erik is going to pay for a full bolt of Celtic Nations Dude.
Check out my GoFundMe.
Exactly. Ian's #1 donor. The joke is,
Oh, hey, guys.
Ian, our one of our kilt makers, Ian, has been bugging the hell out of me, and it's almost a point of honor that I won't do it now for this particular tartan in a muted color scheme. So maybe someday I'll leave that little glimmer of hope just to let him just hold on just that little bit longer. Indeed. Okay.
Okay.
All right. Next
You're gonna
question.
You're going to do Mac, I think.
What's the next one?
Yeah,
There we go.
we're heading here. So, the Zombie Caddy on YouTube is asking about our second favorite holiday, Oktoberfest.
Now, is zombie caddy, is that a man caddying for a zombie?
I don't know.
Or is that a zombie?
CADDIE or...
DDY.
Okay, DDY, caddy.
Caddyshack
Zombie
is
caddy.
DDY. I don't know.
Got it, okay.
Yeah,
I don't
yeah.
golf.
Okay, me neither. It's fine.
So they're asking, with Oktoberfest around the corner, would wearing a kilt to an Oktoberfest celebration be too big of a culture clash?
It's been done.
Nope, I've done it.
Yeah.
Yeah, have at it.
Yep.
With the old, what's the beer thing where you hold the beer out straight in front of you?
Oh,
Damn it.
What is this?
There's a
Yeah.
competition. Sly Fox does it. Jim,
Oh, okay.
our hockey buddy, Jim.
yeah.
Let's hear it for these guys. Come on. Let's hear it. Let's hear it. Let's all spill the beer. Yeah.
Mac and I used to play hockey together.
I think Ian's participated in it as well.
Yeah, Ian's done it. He's lost to Jim. But
yeah.
it's you have to hold a beer.
It's a weight. It's like a weight challenge.
Yes,
like
you
an
hold a
endurance
full
thing.
beer
Okay.
out in front of you for as long as possible.
Okay.
And last one to drop wins. And my buddy Jim has like swept the floor with competition for years. No, it's mixing culture, especially if you're wearing a kilt and Highland wear, straight Highland wear to an Oktoberfest. It's fine. It's mixing the cultures. It's cross-pollinating things. You're going to go there and some dude whose, family is off the boat German, but he has a little bit of Scottish ancestry. He's going to go, dude, that's awesome. Achtung! I need to wear my kilt. I need to get a kilt. It's all about just kind of mixing and the salad bowl that is America. It's fun to wear different cultural garbs to different things. I honestly believe that. I firmly believe that.
We actually have a lot of German customers. There's a lot of German guys who wear kilts. Oddly enough, I mean that's partly what. Yeah, then
You're
there's
talking to two of them.
got a whole tartan for it. German heritage. So yeah, I mean, I wouldn't wear it with lederhosen. I don't. I wouldn't.
What about lederhosen that are made out of tartan?
They wouldn't be lederhosen then,
look
because
like
lederhosen
Chucky.
are leather.
That's true.
Yeah.
Yeah, come on, Mr. German guy.
You could emboss it and leather paint the leather.
Yeah, paint on tartan on lederhosen.
Yeah.
No, the
I'm just imagining this deranged childhood toy like Chucky. It's like a red tartan jumper thing. It's just
yeah, as long as
I would wear it with a Tyrolean cap. I think a Tyrolean cap would be okay. With the
what's is
or
that like
Austrian
the
cap? The mountaineer's
Gotcha,
cap. Yeah,
gotcha.
that could be. Could be a way to change it up, kind of cool. Because it's a short brim hat, so it wouldn't look bad.
Yeah, it's the Robin Hood style kind of looking thing. It's close enough. It's got a little bit of a point. No, I know what I'm. Yeah,
that stings.
You're welcome. I'm mixing things now.
And centuries. Anyway, don't worry about it. Just have fun.
Yeah, well, I would say this.
Oktoberfest is really chill.
Yes,
it's a party.
Yes, absolutely. I would, when I went and I wore a kilt, I wore my German heritage kilt, just to kind of give the nod to the yes, I'm Scottish, but I'm also German. So it's a fun way to cross-pollinate cultures. So I don't see a problem with it at all. If you're not trying to mix it and be a caricature of one or the other, or screw with it too much, it's not doing a disservice or dishonoring either of the things just because you're wearing a kilt and your Scottish side garb to a German event. Fine, have at it.
Now, would you wear the traditional Birkenstock sandals with your kilt hose? That old German joke, socks and sandals. I'm part German too, so I can make that joke. Maybe.
No.
No?
No. I'm not a big. I hate sandals in general. I do. I'm sorry. For sandal lovers, I'm sorry. But Birkenstocks. Now, kilt hose and Birkenstocks? No, I wouldn't do that either.
Yeah, no.
That you are dishonoring both. And hippies simultaneously.
All three above.
Yes.
What time is it? Okay. All right, so my turn?
Yes.
We're getting towards the top of the hour, so I'll try and make this a shorter one. Daniel Morgan says he's having problems with the ghillie brogue laces. They won't stay up. He ties the laces pretty much as we have instructed in past videos and tries to make them really tight, but 10 minutes later, guaranteed, they're down around his ankles. What is he to do?
My brain immediately went to Derek Morgan, the ska magnate from the 60s. So, if your laces fall down, buddy, pick it up. That was horrible and glorious simultaneously. That was like the ska dad joke right there. You don't get many of them on a kilt show anyway.
It's not a lot of Scottish ska.
Is there a Scottish ska?
I don't know if there. I mean, there's a ska scene in Scotland. I'm sure.
I was gonna say there's got to be. Tangent. What do you do if your ghillie brogue laces are falling down? I would, without knowing the laces and the material of your socks, I would say maybe like option one, make sure you're pulling the shoes tight enough. If you don't pull your shoes snug, maybe it kind of in the wiggling of your ankle back and forth, walking around, that kind of thing. Maybe it's kind of loosening the lace a little bit to be able to fall down. You don't want to cut off circulation, but at the same time, you don't want to have, I don't know. So A, make sure the shoes themselves are tight enough. Option 2, B, whatever number I'm on, letter. I would say check the laces themselves. If I don't know whether you bought the ghillies from us, whether you bought it from somebody else. I don't know the style of laces because we carry two different types of, two different brands of ghillie brogues. Look at the laces. If the laces are like smooth or dressy kind of laces, or not like grippy, not cotton, maybe look to replace the laces with something that'll grip the hose a little bit better. Perhaps
a little more nap to it.
Yeah, a little bit
Not
more
quite
nap.
so waxed rat taily or whatever.
Exactly.
Okay.
Now I've never seen ghillie brogues with like waxed dress laces in them.
Yeah.
But replacing ghillie brogue laces is not a difficult thing. I want to say the length of the laces is either 72 or 96 or whatever inches. So it's like standard boot length. So it's a standard length that you can get at a regular store. So then all you do is just pull the tassel back a little bit. There's a knot underneath the tassel. Untie it, pull the tassel off, and then, swap out the laces for something that may grip your socks a little bit better. But outside of that, maybe try tying them a little bit lower, maybe 2 inches above the center column thing versus 5 inches above the center column
kinda
thing.
where I
So
was
it's
going.
lower on the leg.
Yeah, because we usually say the laces should be on the more cylindrical part of your ankle
Lower.
towards the calf. Once you get up onto the calf muscle, then it's an inverted cone. Things are going to fall off. So you may have thick calves, something like that. I don't know. But some kind of an alternative tying style, maybe going around the leg a couple more times instead of crisscrossing once and then tie, might work better. Reduce the altitude, basically. I mean, kind of lean into the fact that they want to fall down is kind of where I'm going. Nuclear option is you don't have to wear ghillie brogues. They are a symbolic thing. They're a survival thing. They look pretty cool with a kilt that kind of help complete the outfit, but you don't have to wear them. So don't feel bad if that particular piece of the fashion is not working for you.
Yeah, if there's the two parts of the outfit, I will say that if gun to my head, you have to leave off 2 parts of the outfit. I would first leave off the skin do. Next, I would leave off either kilt pin or ghillie brogues. Probably ghillie brogues next. And I have issues with my feet on occasion from arthritis, so I tend to wear a cushier sole pair of wingtips on occasion, unless I'm really getting gussied up and I'm able to sit down for a while. Then maybe I'll put on a pair of ghillie brogues. So it's form follows function. If it's going to keep falling down, you're not having luck for certain reasons, as Erik said, sack it, just go with a pair of wingtips.
Yeah, if it bugs you, you don't have to deal with it.
Yeah, it's not like you're foregoing the kilt, or
Right,
you're wearing a
right.
Saxon jacket with a kilt, or you're forgetting the sporran or something like that. It's not a cardinal sin. It's a minor sin, not a cardinal sin.
I wouldn't even say it's a sin. You're not out of uniform.
Yeah.
But I would try, maybe multiple ties a little lower down. Play around with it, invent your own look.
Yeah.
Kinda. Simplify it.
Indeed. All right.
All right.
Mr. Mac.
Well, before we get to the next question, we should probably do...
It's that time again, kids. All right, our ambassador this session is Lewis Collingwood. Lewis has been a friend of ours on the Kilts and Culture group for a long time, and he is absolutely a serial kilter. Work-wise, he works as a maintenance supervisor at the world-famous Hot Pocket factory. I don't know how he stays so thin. His education is from Moorhead State University, where he has an engineering degree. His heritage is basically both Scottish and Irish roots on the Scottish side in Clan Mackay and also Anderson. Curious anecdote from that is that his mom found out that some of their ancestry goes back to the Black Duncan, Campbell Laird of Glenorchy, 7th Laird of Glenorchy. They apparently that guy was really into architecture, so they thought that was kind of cool. So about 5 years ago now, he because he's of his interest in his heritage, he got into kilting, and he basically hasn't looked back since. He calls tramp pants torture tubes.
Yep.
So but he was inspired because he's got a couple of great quotes I'm going to give you. Our heritage and family means everything to me. I think it's so important to know where my family came from and the struggles they faced. This is like my line. This is my thing. If it weren't for them, I would not be here. Carrying on family traditions is how we keep the past alive and do not let it become just a memory. Words to live by. As far as kilts themselves are concerned, he just loves the versatility. Basically, it looks great no matter what you're doing. It looks great and it's comfortable no matter what you're doing. And this guy does a lot of different things. He's a woodworker. You may have seen pictures of his whiskey cabinets that he makes, which are really cool. He loves to travel. We have a picture there of him at Epcot. They go all over the country. He's a motorcyclist, although he did point out he does not wear the kilt. When he's motorcycling, he'll bring a kilt with him in his pack and then switch into it once he gets to his destination. He does not wear the kilt while riding the motorcycle. And he's a hiker. You know, like so many other people have said, basically he loves the feel of a kilt outdoors for hiking. So,
Nice.
I asked him what his and of course visiting whiskey distilleries. He's from Kentucky, and his grandfather was actually a shiner.
Oh, nice.
He does not distill himself, but he's definitely a whiskey guy. Very good sorts of opinions and data on that. If you ever meet him on the group, if you have a whiskey question, go ahead and ask him. I really liked what he had to say about getting into kilts if you're a new person too, which was quote, "I would tell any new kilter to simply enjoy wearing your kilt. If you're looking for a reason to wear your kilt, that reason is life. You don't have to have a special occasion just to wear them. But at the same time, you should do your best to learn a bit about the history of where the kilt you're wearing came from. That shows your respect for the culture, no matter what your background is. Everyone can look great in a kilt, and for me, wearing my kilts has made me a much more confident person in life, so be the best looking you and put on that kilt." Yay.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's living it.
No, he's right.
He's
You
a
don't
Renaissance
need-
man.
Yes, you don't need a reason to wear a kilt. You don't need a reason to get dressed up. It's your chosen garment of choice for the day, for the week, for life, whatever. Just get out there and do what you do. Be happy, wear a kilt.
Enjoy that connection to the past.
Exactly.
So, here's to you, Lewis.
Yes,
Good to
absolutely.
know you.
Sláinte
Sláinte.
See, now I need to drink the other because he likes whiskey, so I have to toast him with whiskey.
I'd love to know what he thinks of some of these that we've tried, actually. Should probably ask him for his opinion. That's something we should do. We should, we give numerical reviews for a lot of these whiskeys. I'd love to compile them all sometime and then give people like the list of everything we've tried on here and what we've scored them at, and then let people tell us what they think and give their own numerical scores.
Absolutely.
On the 1 to 10 scale.
Yeah.
That'd be fun.
Agreed.
That'd be cool. And we should do a whiskey tasting someday.
I would love to.
That would be awesome.
Yeah. It's once we're through the COVIDs and we're allowed to do all that kind of stuff, or even outside if we want to do it in the spring.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Indeed.
Is it Mac's turn or mine?
Yes.
Do you remember?
I think it's Max.
Okay.
So we have Andrew asking, tweed
Hi,
vest
Andrew.
with a grandfather shirt and a tweed color suggestions for a kilt with darker green. He's got a black watch, a brown watch, an Armstrong, but the tweed vest with the grandfather shirt. What are your thoughts?
Sure, the grandfather shirt's a bit casual, so I'd say if you're gonna wear a tweed vest with it, probably leave it open, just to continue with the casual thing versus a button-down shirt, dress button-down shirt with a collar, where I would button up a tweed vest.
As sometimes happens, I would disagree. I think you could button it if you want to. My personal issue with grandfather shirts and vests is that I have kind of one of those necks that I have a thick nape of my neck, and my neck kind of goes forward, Neanderthal style. So
He walks like an Egyptian.
yeah.
Walk like an Egyptian.
And I find that when I wear a vest with a grandfather shirt or any banded collar shirt, low banded collar type shirt, the vest will ride up over the collar of the shirt, and it drives me crazy after a while. I'm constantly pulling the collar back up and getting it back into position. So if your neck is shaped like mine, you might want to keep that in mind. It may just feel awkward sometimes that the shirt collar is falling down below the back of the vest. I've worn it with a vest open, with a vest closed. Either way, it's fine. I think if you add a jacket, then it may start to look a little bit weird.
Yeah, I wouldn't wear a jacket with it.
Yeah,
period.
but with just the vest, which is all you're asking about, go for it. It's a really nice, rustic, old timey kind of a look. I dig it. It's just I don't personally always groove on how the shirts behave on the back of my neck.
Especially if you go to chop wood in the fall.
I'm not gonna. Yeah. Well, I'm gonna have a woolly pulley on or something if I'm doing that. But as far as the color,
What he said, black
he
watch.
said black
and
watch and brown
brown
watch
watch was the other?
What's the last
Armstrong
one?
was the other
Armstrong.
one. It was
Highland green,
Highland
Love
green.
green, something like that. Yeah.
Probably Highland green.
Yeah.
Something with a little bit of green in it.
Yeah. Or gray. Yeah. If you want to do the Scottish thing and you don't care about matching brown, doesn't matter.
I was gonna say I never mind brown for this kind of thing too, as long as I also am wearing brown accessories like a brown sporran. Yeah. It's basically, don't go for purple, and I wouldn't go for blue. But yeah, the greens and the grays and the browns will all work just fine.
Yeah, earth tones.
Yep.
Done.
I would definitely do the antler buttons also.
Yeah,
Just to keep the rustic look going.
Staghorn, yeah.
Yeah, staghorn.
Yep. Agreed.
Yeah.
Cheers. Mr. Erik.
All right. Okay. Gabe Lynch is saying, I'm making my 3 kids kilts for our first Scottish festival. Great idea. He's finishing up the boys' kilt today. Aside from wrapping the opposite direction, what are some of the differences between a boys' and a girls' kilt that I should consider for making kilts for my girls? So he's got the boys' kilt done. He's going to do the daughters now. What are the differences? How much does he need to worry about? I do not know how old the kids are. I'm assuming they're not.
And he's only saying kilt. He's not saying kilted skirt. He's not saying mini kilt. He's saying kilt.
I'm going to guess they're probably fairly young.
Yeah. I wouldn't worry too much about it either way. Let's start here. Men's kilts. Traditionally, men's kilts open on the right-hand side. On the right leg. Are there examples of men's kilts opening on the left? Yes, the practical Scots, as they were, may reverse aprons if the front apron is worn out and they're using old clothes or handing down a kilt or something like that. But 99.999%, and I'm probably not far off in that number, of kilts designed for men are knee length and they open on the right. When it comes to women's kilted skirts, there is no standard. I would say it's probably 40% open on the right like a man's kilt and 60% open on the other side like a women's, or on the other direction on the left-hand side. So there's no right or wrong answer with women's garments. If you are making knee-length kilts effectively for your kids, I would take it easy on yourself and just make them all the same way. I wouldn't really worry too much about it. The fun fact as well is, especially if your daughter is older, as she outgrows the kilt height-wise, you can maybe pass it down to the son then if you've made it the man's way, meaning opening on the right. So yeah, I wouldn't fuss too much about it. They're kids. It's a lot more fluid, a lot more flexible with kids' clothes for this stuff versus teenager to adult with this stuff.
So what are the significant differences between a man's kilt and a woman's kilted skirt? Just so you can, because we have run into some interesting situations with that.
Sure. A man's kilt typically has a 2-inch rise, which is the area from the center top buckle to the top of the kilt, where a woman's kilt is typically done tapered all the way up to the top, and the top buckle is on the waistband. Women's kilts open either direction, right or left. Men's almost always open on the right. Women's kilted skirts are typically below the knee, so either like top of calf to even ankle length if you're going to go with a hostess skirt or something like that. The straps themselves are like 3/4 inch wide leather. They are not 1 1/4 1.5 wide leather. And the other thing that's the most notable difference is a woman's kilted skirt. The depth of the pleats are about half to maybe the same width as the face of the pleat. So it's not a lot of cloth. A traditional man's kilt would be 8 yards of cloth, let's say. A woman's kilted skirt may only be 4 yards, 3 yards maybe. Depends on the size of the individual. So it's the depth of the pleats are extremely shallow, which makes it a real joy and treat to iron those, right, Mac? Because you're ironing a much longer section. You almost have to iron it sideways. So those are the main differences between the man and the woman's kilt.
Okay, there you go. If you're in a thrift store and you see something that looks like a kilt and you're tempted to buy it and you're a dude, you might want to think twice.
Yes. It's the
or not.
The depth of the pleats are the dead giveaway. The size of the straps.
I think the size of the straps is
Those are the two dead giveaways.
Conversely, sometimes you'll find a man's kilt in a women's section of a thrift store or something because they don't know what it is.
Yeah.
And that's always funny.
Yeah. Indeed.
Cool.
All right, Erik.
Huh. What is that? It's cloudy.
I put a
What
little.
did you do?
I put a little bit of water in. Maybe just like, I don't know. It is a little bit cloudy here. I'm not sure why.
That's weird.
I didn't put a ton of water in, but I let it sit for a while. It is much better now that it's sat.
Okay.
Do you have any left, Mac, or no?
No.
Actually, nah, it's all gone. How do you feel about it now that it's sat for a while?
It's better.
Yeah, it's mine. It's I would move this up on my score.
It's giving me the heartburn. No, I'm getting the heartburn thing down here.
I'd move it up on my score to a 4.2. Like, it's a full.
It's not
at least
exactly
half
high
point.
praise.
No, it's below average.
Yeah.
But it's still fine. I wouldn't refuse it at a party. But it definitely improved breathing a bit. Yeah. Still not great, but improved.
Yeah.
I can still taste the charcoal.
It's just not that interesting a flavor. Even with the burn, I'm not getting a very nuanced flavor
Just a
from it.
lot of alcohol.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And sugar.
Indeed.
So, sorry.
Okay.
All right. I think it's Mac's turn next.
Mr. Mac.
He's grinning like
There's
he's
just
got
a lot
that.
of flavors, just all in one shot.
Right.
So we have James on YouTube asking, could a kilt be pleated with one box pleat in the middle of the back with knife pleats to the left and to the right of the box pleat?
Yes.
Why, yes.
It's called a
It's,
Kingussie pleating.
Kingussie. Or is that Kingussie or reverse
Kingussie.
Kingussie?
That's Kingussie.
Okay.
Utility Kilt brand, Utility Kilt, is they use what's called reverse Kingussie pleating, which is the left side pleats like a normal kilt, where the pleats go around this direction, and then the right side, the pleats wrap around this direction, and they meet in the back, like flat, with a reverse box pleat inside. So the pleats, the knife pleats, center on the back, and then there's a box pleat on the inside. Kingussie pleating is actually pleated the other direction, so the pleats wrap around towards the front, and in the box, in the back, there is a single box pleat, typically like 2 inches or so wide. I'm not a big fan of that particular pleating because it always feels to me or looks to me like you have a tail. Just that single wide pleat running down the center of the back all by itself. It looks a little bit off. It is a thing. It has existed. It's found in the Kingussie, I believe it's pronounced Kingussie, region in Scotland. There was a kilt there that was an example piece.
Right. I don't know if there were any other examples, but the specimen they found was from there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If I'm gonna go hypothetical or not hypothetical, thought on it, Occam's razor, it's I would guess, don't take this as Bible, I'm guessing, or as gospel, I'm guessing. It was a tailor a couple hundred years ago who was monkeying around with something different. Somebody came, I'm taking today's mentality and kind of applying human nature to something a couple hundred years ago, where somebody came in and said, hey, I want to do a kilt, but I want to do something a little bit different. Can you pleat it so that it comes around this way, or a different pleating style so mine is different? That is a complete guess, but that is my guess where it kind of came from, why there is a historical piece that is an example of this.
I was going to say similarly, or it was produced in a relative state of isolation, and neither the customer nor the tailor were exactly sure what they wanted or what should be done. So they just like, well, let's just do it this way. They'll be symmetrical that way. It makes sense. It's symmetrical. And it was a shot in the dark, and the customer was okay with it.
Yeah.
Now, it survived in somebody's trunk for 200 years, so how often they wore it, maybe it wasn't that successful, but the style has stuck around. It's not super popular, but there are a few people out there who make them, and people do them. I think home kilt makers just make it as a lark. It's kind of just like, it seems fun, it's different.
Yeah, or people, as Lucas would say, people who want the special.
Yeah.
They want to be special, they want to be different. They would do either, reverse Kingussie or Kingussie pleating, or military box pleating, or box pleating, or there's a few different styles of pleating, but some people just want something to be different. 98.5%, maybe even 99% of kilts today are knife pleated, meaning they all have a knife edge and they all go one direction around the kilt, from your left side wrapping around to the right. Now, there are a few people who specialize or do box pleating, military box pleating, but those are uncommon, and you would have to ask for it and seek out someone who's willing to do that style of pleating specifically for you, because again, 99% of people, kilt makers, just do the one style, or they charge an inordinate amount for a different style of pleating because it's not the same, takes more time because you're kind of reinventing the wheel. Mac, do you have any thoughts on the Kingussie pleating or the sample thing? Or I know you like history as well as Erik.
Yeah, I'm like, I could easily be like, believe that that was done that way, or just somebody was trying something different. Or the other thought I had is somebody started making it, that person died or left or whatever happened to them. Somebody else picked it up and finished it, and they went the wrong way. Like, it could be that simple.
Yeah, it's part of a suit. The original Kingussie kilt is part of there's a matching tartan jacket and waistcoat that go with it.
Then it could be something more of a formal. Somebody looking for something a little bit more formal to wear.
Look cool at the ball.
It's kilt making in general. The evolution of the kilt. It's not a straight line A to Z. There's offshoots. There's people doing fun, funky, funny stuff with the kilt back then as there is now. Like, look at 21st century kilts making tweed or saran wrap or snakeskin or denim kilts with pockets on the outside. Fast forward 200 years, someone's going to look at that and say, see, someone was doing it. That existed for a reason. There was enough of a market that a thing existed.
Yeah.
So it's not a to Z straight line, evolution. There are branches off the evolutionary tree,
Yeah. On the other hand, I think we always say in the historical community that you can't assume just because they could do something, they did. I had a friend who tried to make the argument that you could argue that blue jeans would be period correct for the Renaissance because they had indigo dye, they had heavy twill cotton, they could have made a fabric like that, therefore they could have made blue jeans, therefore I'm going to wear blue jeans. It's like, no, dude, come on. Very funny, haha.
That's a lazy person.
Yeah. Yeah.
I don't want to.
Well, he's just trying to be a gadfly.
I know.
But so don't make those assumptions either. It's a balance.
Agreed.
All right.
Yeah.
Is it my turn then?
Sure.
Yeah, I think it is. All right. Brian wrote to us and he said, he gave us props first. I really respect what you do at USA Kilts and specifically your YouTube channel. I am not part of any Celtic community where I live, and I appreciate the knowledge and connection your videos provide. Thank you.
We try.
Now, the question. I'm wondering if you have any recommendations or insights on people wearing kilts for physical needs. Specifically, chronic pain. I prefer the look of a traditional kilt, but I cannot wear a sporran, so I resort to a utility kilt with pockets. I don't understand how people can handle a sporran bouncing on their tenders all day. Do you have any thoughts, advice on wearing a traditional style kilt without a sporran? I tend to carry lots of things in the pockets of my utility kilt. Do you have any experience with tartan utility kilts? So there's several layered questions there, but he's in a situation where he needs to take the weight off or the pressure off, and he's wondering how we think about utility kilts in terms of
he doesn't want
looking traditional.
The sporran bouncing on his ghillie bits.
Yeah, that's part of it. And I don't know what sort of chronic pain he's got.
Yeah, he didn't specify pain. What type of pain?
Yeah,
got it. I'm assuming it's that region.
From what he said about the sporran.
Yeah. There are different. I'm going to broaden the question. And I'm going to open it up a little bit. There are different types of chronic pain or just pain in general. The one thing that I found, I have arthritis. I had back pain, and now it's controlled. But back when it wasn't controlled, I had an issue with heavy sporrans or heavier footwear or things that were putting pressure on my lower back and hips. So wearing a lighter kilt up higher was better for me than wearing something, lower, i.e. a utility kilt with weighed down pockets or a heavy sporran worn down a little bit lower. There's also people who have surgeries. We've had customers who've had, surgeries down in the nether regions, or hernias or things like that, and they can't wear pants, or it's uncomfortable to wear pants for whatever reason. And I've made kilts for guys, casual kilts for guys to wear up high to recover from surgery, to go to surgery and not have to worry about, hurting yourself, just going about your day. So yes, it can be done. A traditional kilt, yes, you have a sporran. But to some degree, form follows function. If you are physically in pain, then don't wear a sporran.
Yeah. It's okay.
Maybe wear a belt pouch. Maybe wear a shirt or a vest or something with pockets so you can put things in. Maybe make your wife carry it in her purse. I don't know. But I wouldn't be too concerned about it. Yes. Is it traditional? No. It's not traditional to not wear a sporran. Sporran kind of completes the outfit. However, if you're going to a grocery store, 99.9% of people in America and Canada and Australia will not know that you are not wearing it appropriately since you don't have a sporran on. If a utility kilt solves the problem for you because there's pockets on the side or whatever, fine, wear a utility kilt. You can get an under apron pocket on a regular kilt just to carry your credit card and your keys or whatever. So there are ways to hack it to fit your particular scenario. But I wouldn't not wear it because I didn't wear a sporran.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we've also had one customer who we had to, Max addressed this a couple of times. We installed buttons so you could use braces with the kilt because he could not have any pressure at all on his abdominal region because of surgery. So he wanted to wear a kilt, but it needed to hang loosely so he wasn't putting pressure in the midsection. So he did the braces. You can find a hack that works. It sounds like for the time being, you found a hack that works for you. Yeah, I mean, I don't know. How do you feel about wearing a sporran off to the side? If you're worried about, if you can't have it in contact with your groin area, your bladder area, your groin area, or something like that is sensitive, what about wearing a sporran to the side?
Maybe.
I mean, that sort of gets towards the belt pouch thing you're talking about. Maybe to the side, but tighten up the chain so it's hanging a little higher, kind of like a belt pouch.
Or wear one of the old-timey sporrans that hangs from your belt.
Yeah. Yeah, there's some medieval style belt pouches that look pretty cool.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah. Maybe wear it to the side. It's my asymmetrical, OCD. It must everything be a mirror image of itself right down the center. Worrying about the gig line. I want it to be centered. Period. Mm-hmm. But I wouldn't let it stop me. Like it's.
Yeah.
I am an immovable force moving forward at all times. I would not let a personal injury, disability, no matter what it is, serious, long-term, short-term, it doesn't matter. I would still just power through it and go, period. And if someone has something to say about it, F you, I have a hernia. Like,
yeah.
I wouldn't stress over it.
Mm-hmm. I think, yes?
I was gonna say my thought was especially about the weight. If the weight and the sporran are an issue, what about some of the sporrans like pipe bands use, where it's just the kind of like the fake front type thing that just has the fur,
like the old style, falsy ones that the pipe bands use.
It saves on some weight.
Yeah. They're impractical. The sporran Mac is talking about is like a horsehair sporran. Traditionally, old timey. The horsehair sporrans didn't really have a pouch attached to them. It was just a flat panel back, and then maybe a little tiny depth pocket for credit cards and license. There wasn't a lot. That's what he's referring to. It still adds weight. So, and it's on the crotch region.
I see what he said. It makes sense to me.
It could help.
It could be the answer for somebody.
Yes, it could be, but I'm not going to spend several $100s on a horsehair sporran to find out it doesn't work. I would know that going in.
Yeah.
But I would shift it to the side. I would probably wear a sporran strap so that you can move it easier versus a sporran chain. But yeah, I wouldn't fuss too much about it. I would just be me and
there's and it's worth noting that there's a reason why in the 19th century they developed jackets that have lots of pockets in them. It's because guys used those pockets to carry stuff. You didn't necessarily carry as much in your trouser pockets back then. you had various pockets on your vest, on your jacket for carrying your gear. So if it's not too hot, you have that. You always have that option too. And without a sporran, you can still look really sharp with the kilt and some nice tweeds and stuff. So if you're wanting to dress up, you can play it that way too.
I still hate the look of a kilt of a tartan kilt without a sporran.
Okay, that's you.
Because it's the tradition of it is ingrained in my mind. But again, if I would still have something on, I would just shift it probably. That's probably the best advice would be shift it to the side a bit so that it's not hitting the sensitive area.
If that's in fact the source of the discomfort.
Yeah.
Now to his second part of his question, what do we think about utility kilts with tartan in them, Rocky?
Now, personally,
You're such a stick in the mud.
I don't care. Give me 3 more scotches and I'll give you my real opinion. No, I'm
like
not.
You didn't just now.
I know. Unbridled.
Okay.
No, I'm not a fan of utility kilts with tartan. Well, I don't know. Utility kilts with tartan, it's a bit crossing the streams. Like the pockets on the sides, it's a bit crossing the streams. I can deal with it. It's I know where you're going. I see what you're saying. I already know where you're gonna go. I'm gonna disagree anyway.
Moi?
Yes, you, buddy boy.
What am I going to say?
I hate the tartan insets in a solid color kilt. I know we disagree on this. The tartan inserts on a utility kilt, I just can't do it. I do not like it.
It's okay.
Nope.
I think you just need to live with that feeling for a while, Rocky, and
I've lived with that feeling for a while.
To terms with it. Yeah,
I haven't come to terms with it. I still don't like it.
Well, a little more work. We can take it up in group.
One
later.
or the other, not both. Just go
down
that road or that road. That road.
Let me summarize. Let me
But hold on 1 minute.
Okay, go ahead.
You notice one thing though, that the two of us who have made kilts that are in this room are going to agree on that from the amount of work that has to be done to make that happen.
That's a fair point as well. It is a lot more work. Yes.
I will simply say that I like the concept. I do not like the execution. The only times I've seen it done, it looks like ass. Because you got 2 different kinds of fabric you're using. It's invariably a project that's being done overseas, and they're not using the most high-quality materials, rather. And what happens is you have things looking rumply and wishy-washy, mushy. Especially the tartan will look mushy, and the canvas or whatever they're using for the rest is, the cotton looks kind of wrinkly. I feel like there's room for it to be a cool thing. It's just never been done well. So
I will say
that's my thinking on it.
It's not just done overseas. There's Built Kilt out of Canada. There's North Hadrian's out of Canada. The ones. There are people.
How many are North of Hadrian's making though? Really?
No, I'm not them.
I thought they were mostly doing traditional stuff. But
now they are. Yeah. There are.
You guys can tell us. But.
There are other third world countries that are making them. Most
of the ones I've seen have not been executed well.
You know why there's not many? Because they suck.
All right.
If you like them, I'm sorry. We disagree on this particular thing. But you're wrong.
To round out the point, if utility kilts are what work for you because of body issues, you can always find other ways to incorporate heritage elements into it. Let the kilt be a simple thing. Go with those pockets. That's fine. They're working for you. You can use a tartan tie. You can use other elements of the outfit, perhaps, to heritage it up. And I have no problem with wearing a kilt pin on a utility kilt either, for the record. So
one more way to make a utility kilt more of a heritage thing. Half kilt. The old Verilas.
Yeah.
Half kilt. I know you love them.
Yeah.
So do I.
Yeah. I just think they should be worn at the back, like those, snow trooper things. I forget what they're called. Do you know what they're called? No. There's a name for them.
Burn it. Kill it with fire. Okay. Nope.
All right. We've definitely shaggy dogged this.
Yes,
one.
indeed.
Ruff, ruff.
All right. Who's
I hope that helps. That was me.
That was you? Okay.
Yeah, I hope that helps. And
it doesn't.
Keep on keeping on, man.
But we're fine.
Yeah. No.
Do what you got to do. Yeah. Form follows function. Period.
Find a way to enjoy it.
Yes.
Yeah.
Mr. Mack.
All right. So we have Daryl asking, What would be the most appropriate kilt outfit for a wedding that will take place from 4 p.m. to 10 p.m.? And he's got a cutoff time on this at 10 p.m.
It's going to turn into a pumpkin.
A day tweed jacket, vest, or an argyle jacket and vest.
Is he going to the wedding or is he in the wedding?
That it doesn't say. It just says appropriate outfit for a wedding. The invitation does indicate cocktail attire.
Oh, well then I would definitely do... Well, I would do tweed. I would do a Barathea cloth jacket, like a Wallace jacket. Or possibly an argyle. Although, as we pointed out, argyles are not as traditional as some people think. It's not... Cocktail hour is too casual for a Prince Charlie. So, I think...
Agreed.
I would go with a Wallace jacket.
Agreed. I'm not...
Or a Barathea...
Yeah, either a Wallace, which is a contemporary version, if you will, of a Prince Charlie, or check that, of an argyle, or an argyle jacket. I'm always suspect of American wedding invitations knowing what actual formal, actual cocktail attire, actual definitions of these things are. So
no invitation survives contact with the enemy.
Yeah. I wouldn't not wear a nice tweed or like a gray braemar. Like it's not tweed, but it's like
Yes. In this country, probably people wouldn't.
That's where I'm going with it. It's how many people you'll still have people dressing up in jeans. Their nicest pair of jeans and t-shirt.
We do not know what social context he lives in.
100% true. The correct answer is argyle, Wallace jacket, that kind of thing. If what you have is a nice tweed jacket and vest, and you're wearing a kilt, I wouldn't, and you don't want to spend the money on an argyle or something like that, you could probably get away with it. That's where I would go.
Yeah. I would.
Meh. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Meh.
Whatever. Yeah. I think the further in the day you get, the less you want to be fuzzy. Tweeds are fuzzy, so they're a day thing. They're an outdoor thing. So when you're indoors and it's evening, it's cocktail hour, and after you're elegant, you're a gentleman, you're a noble. So you want the smooth cloth, you want the Barathea. I think if you don't like the cut of a Wallace jacket and you want an argyle, you could get a custom argyle that does not have the chrome buttons. So you could kind of tone it down, make it a little bit more your own. Just do like black buttons or regular suit buttons.
Or antique.
Leave off the epaulettes, things like that. But some kind of a simple kilt cut suit jacket is what you want.
If it was starting a little bit earlier, if it was like 2 versus 4, then maybe
the tweed would be fine.
Then tweed would be fine. It's 4. It was the ceremony at 4, Mac, did he say?
He just says it's...
He just said it was from 4 to 10.
4 to 10.
4 to 10. I'm assuming that includes the ceremony, therefore.
I would guess that, yeah.
Yeah, then black. Yeah, that's fine. Yep. Or bottle green or something solid. Not tweed, but a bottle green or a navy or something like that.
Yeah,
would probably be
that's
fine
my
as well.
opinion, at least.
Yeah, I don't disagree. I'm rolling back the tweed a little bit and going more for that.
Okay.
It's better to be overdressed than underdressed. So taking that into account, yeah, I'd probably go argyle or Wallace or something bottle green.
And a bolo tie.
Never bolo tie.
We do have one guy, Chuck, saying usually later in the day, the fuzzier he gets. So
that's kind of where I was going. Was like if it's
I don't care what I'm wearing.
3 o'clock, 6 or 8 of these, nobody really cares as much.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, indeed. All right, Mr. Erik.
All right.
Better. The dueling banjos. Better with air. Better with time. Better with a little bit of water.
All right. Lucas Smales.
What's up, Lucas?
I'm gonna. Yo, Luke. I'm gonna throw him a bone here.
Luke.
I actually did this for him.
How do you know his name is Luke?
I sense it in the force. I don't know. Not really a question, but a request.
Question he has.
We are getting back deep into isolation and quarantine in some places and need a bit of a pick-me-up. Could any of y'all give us a good reading of a poem by Burns or Scott? So, I actually found one. I can't promise it's a good reading, but, and I went with Scott because my Scots dialect is for shite. I'm not going to try and do Burns. I would embarrass myself. But I did find you a poem.
I embarrass myself all the
Okay.
time. It's fine.
This will take me a couple minutes. You ready for this? You okay with this? All right. And I'm not
Apparently
off
I
book.
am. I'm fine with it now that we're doing it live
You're fine with it now.
on camera.
It's okay. It's all good. This is gonna be fun. Okay. Oh, I could do it formally later if you want. I can make a whole video about it. But... Okay. Okay. Did you say your prayers? Did you brush your teeth? Okay.
Oh, Dad.
This is by Sir Walter Scott. This is MacCrimmon's Lament. And this is based on a lament that was written by someone who went off and was killed at the Rout of Moy in 1746.
Make sure you talk near the mic.
Okay. Like this? Okay.
Exactly.
MacLeod's wizard flag from the grey castle sallies. The rowers are seated. Unmoored are the galleys. Gleam war axe and broadsword. Clang target and quiver as MacCrimmon sings, farewell to Dunvegan forever. Farewell to each cliff on which breakers are foaming. Farewell each dark glen in which red deer are roaming. MacLeod may return, but MacCrimmon shall never. Farewell the bright clouds that on Kiln are sleeping. Farewell the bright eyes in the dun that are weeping. To each minstrel delusion, farewell, and forever. MacCrimmon departs to return to you never. The banshee's wild voice sings the death dirge before me. The pall of the dead for a mantle hangs o'er me. But my heart shall not flag, and my nerves shall not shiver, though devoted I go, to return again never. Too oft shall the notes of MacCrimmon's bewailing be heard when the gale on their exile are sailing. Dear land, to the shores whence unwilling we sever, return, 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 shall we never. And there's some Gaelic at the bottom of that. I hope you appreciate that.
Very nice.
Yeah, I go to bed.
So the guy died. Sweet dreams. Yeah.
It's Celtic. What do you want? I had a love poem there too, but I thought I'd go with that. Thought that was more.
Fair.
Gets you right here, kind of.
Exactly.
All right.
It'd be creepy if I was doing the elbow thing, staring up at you, and you're telling me a love poem.
Yeah. Might be.
We specialize in creepy here at USA Kilts.
I'm all down for a good poem, though.
Yeah.
It's just like,
Hey.
it's not just clothing, guys. It's literature, too.
Yep.
So,
It's all of it.
Mac.
Mr. Mac.
Well, now we're gonna go into some things for your tummy. Michelle's asking suggestions for hosting a Scottish/Celtic supper, wanting to invite friends and family. So, if you're having a Celtic supper, what you having?
Lots of scotch. Lots of haggis.
Haggis is work, unless you're going to buy it.
Haggai.
Haggai. Yeah. Depends on how many you can afford. If you can hunt local, if you have a friend, like you can do barter for haggis, and so that's always the best. I'd do like a Neeps and Tatties is great. The thing is, for us, a lot of time, these things get thought of as holiday foods, right? You know, for like around Christmas or New Year's, you know, Hogmanay or Burns Night. But you could technically eat them anytime. They tend to be heavier, you know, kind of comfort food. Yeah. So I think Neeps and Tatties is great. A beef stew is classic. A lamb stew is really good.
Fish and chips.
Yeah, if you want to go casual.
Yeah.
Homemade fish and chips is the bomb.
Yeah.
If you're willing to do it. Yeah. So it's more of a party. Like you want finger food kind of stuff, that could be good. But if you want a formal dinner setting, I would personally probably go for a stew. That's very traditional.
Yeah, stew's good. I'm going immediately to alcohol, as I do. What I would do is I would have a mini whiskey tasting. I would have maybe if you're trying to do a pan-Celtic thing, maybe an Irish whiskey, maybe a Welsh whiskey. I don't know if they make Welsh whiskeys. I'm assuming they do. And a couple different scotches, or do an Islay Scotch, a Speyside, a Campbell, whatever. Do the different types of whiskeys, and then give a little flight tray with just a little taste of each one, maybe like a half ounce of each to each guest, and let them try their own. And kind of give them a tour of Scotland, if you will, in whiskey.
Yeah, I will say that a whiskey. Part of the reason why a stew or a heavy meat dish is good because you can pair a whiskey with it very nicely.
Yes,
is part of it also. And I would find pick one of the good classic Scotch desserts to finish it out. Tipsy Laird is a favorite of mine. That's really
dumplings.
good.
Yep.
Yeah, included dumplings are really good. God, I'm hungry.
Yeah. Damn it. It is almost 5. So.
Yeah. But it's kind of a lot of the stuff we think of as like classic American meat and potatoes kind of food is actually UK based, and some of it is Scottish. So yeah, I think a lamb stew and neeps and tatties would be perfect.
I agree, but make it a cultural experience, and that's. I don't want to go like full on burn supper of like bring in the poems, bring in the music, but if you want to bring in a little bit of experience and make it a thing, then I would say do a 3 or 4 whiskeys minimum, and then maybe bring in some music
before you serve the food.
But make it a whole cultural experience, and
sure.
Maybe do one course from the main course from Scotland, the dessert from Ireland or whatever, and try a few different things and bring it in. Or, stick with one country and just try out a few different things. And again, these are traditional things. These aren't contemporary necessarily. But yeah, give it a full 360-degree experience. Make it fun. Make it your own.
Right. Black pudding is really cool too if you're
blood
daring.
pudding. Yeah.
Blood pudding, black pudding. Yeah.
No. No. Creeps me out. Can't do it.
Okay.
Can't do it.
Okay.
But yeah, no. There's a lot of different stuff out there to add little tiny experiences or flavors. Maybe if you're going to do a stew, maybe also do a haggis. Maybe also, depending on the number of people. If it's like 4 people, then yeah, do one.
I think it depends. It depends on whether you want to buy the haggis or make it at home. If you're going to make it, it can be a fair amount of work. But
yeah, if you're going to buy it, then just spend the money, do it, get a good one, done.
I have seen haggis served as almost like a side dish sometimes. I mean, you can do anything with haggis, really.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Agreed. No, but yeah, do a smattering, do an a la carte or whatever, a tapas menu. Like do a bunch of different things.
Like tapas?
Yes, exactly. Do a tapas Scottish menu, a tapas Irish menu. I'm spending all your money for you. It's going to be a huge thing by the time I'm done. Do a few different scotches, maybe do a couple different beers from different countries. Like just have a fun experience, just play with it, and give people who wouldn't necessarily otherwise try these things an experience that they wouldn't otherwise have, and maybe let showcase it different things that will broaden their mind.
Sure.
He's like, yeah, whatever, sure, fine.
I'm just hungry. I know. I've got lamb stew on the brain now.
Indeed. All right, next.
Okay. Questions. That's that thing I do. Okay. All right. Jeremy Forsyth asked us a 2-parter kind of. Do you think polyviscose kilts, that's a lighter fabric, will become more of the norm for kilts for everything, with wool kilts being subjugated mostly to just very special occasions? And he was also curious if we had any new tartans that might be coming out in our PV range, that's more of a business question, but
Polyviscose is polyester rayon. Wool kilts are obviously very traditional. Do I think that wool kilts will be put on the back burner or relegated to formal for the casual day wear of polyviscose? No. The one thing that is kind of the common thread through all of this is tradition is heritage. The tradition of wool kilts will be there. They have been there. They will be there. It will be forever. Wool kilts are the best thing to make kilts from. That is why they exist. As there are more daily kilt wearers, serial kilters, if you will, such as ourselves. You need cost-effective alternatives. You don't want to relegate a wool kilt to only formal, but it's expensive, so you want to have other options. There's kind of there's a balancing act with it. If you want to wear a kilt every single day, I would suggest to you, good sir, that you get both a lower end, change the oil, mow your lawn in it kind of kilt, as well as some nicer wool kilts as well, time allowing. You don't have to spend $5,000 out of the gates just to to fill up your closet, but build your repertoire over time. So yes, the wool kilts, when I first started, the wool kilts that I bought, I saved more for special occasions, and then I wore more polyviscose and lower end stuff for daily wear. As I got further and further and further into it, I started collecting more wool kilts because I liked the swing, the hang, the feel of wool better than the PV over time. But I still wore those PV kilts. Now I have some wool kilts that I will save specifically for dress occasions, and some that I'll beat up some. But I'm 18 years into this. If you are just starting out, I would say buy a few cheaper kilts that you wear and beat up and don't mind getting dirty. It's polyviscose, acrylic, whatever it is, wash and wear kind of thing. But also get at least one nice wool kilt that you'll wear for nice, going to a wedding, you're getting married, whatever type of occasion. Will polyviscose, I will also lump in acrylic or other material here. It's fine. It's cost effective. I will lump in cost effective and wool. Okay. Will those kilts ever supplant wool kilts? No. Can they be a nice way to supplement certain people's outfits? Yes. If you're only ever going to buy one, if you're in Scotland and you're going to get your good kilt for your wedding and for formal occasions, you're probably going to get a wool kilt. The guys in the Tartan army, some of them will buy the tourist trap acrylic kilts for, going to Germany to follow Scotland and play, that kind of thing, and swilling beer on and messing up, and they don't care if it gets blood and whatever on it. On the other end of the spectrum, there's also guys who are in the Tartan army who are in their 40s who have...
So right now what the Tartan army is?
Tartan army is the people who follow Scottish rugby and football or whatever.
Thank you. Just wanted to make sure.
Particular team.
Just wanted to make sure.
There are guys in their 40s who have their wedding kilt who don't get enough wear out of it, so they wear their nice wool kilt to soccer matches or whatever, and they don't care what happens to it. It's their way to represent their Scottishness outside of Scotland or within Scotland. So it depends on your personal comfort level whether you want to have your beaten up kilt and your nice wool kilt, or whether you're just going to wear one for everything, or where you are in your financial situation and your journey in wearing a kilt. Mm-hmm. I'm kind of rambling, but
yeah, no, I think there's always going to be a place for wool, and God's willing, there will always be a place for wool because we want to support the industry over in Scotland. At some point, you lose your awe of it. It is expensive, but it's also incredibly durable. And it's not as necessarily hard to take care of as some people think. So I think at some point you reach a point where it's like, why am I leaving this in the closet? It's a cool, brisk day. This wool kilt will feel great. I love it. I'm gonna wear it. And you just kind of lose that fear of it. It's like, oh, gotta treat it with care. It's delicate. It's special. You get it over that. So there's the seasonal thing is what came to my mind. Is that there's always going to be a time and a place for different fabrics because of weather and context. So, yeah.
I'll go a step further.
Well,
this just occurred to me. When you have your nice jeans, then you have your oil changing jeans. Now, even the jeans that I wear, I have 3 pairs of jeans. I wear jeans when I mow the lawn because I weed whack and I don't want to have my shins all eaten up with stones and stuff. Even the jeans that I wear to mow the lawn in are still, after I wash them, are still fine. It's not like I'm screwing it up. So, and that's something I abuse. So how often do you go out? Now, take out dirty situations, like changing your oil, mowing the lawn, things where you're specifically worried about something getting screwed up. And you're just going to the bar. Even if somebody spills a beer on your wool kilt, you just wipe it off, it's fine. Even if it's a $500 kilt, it's still going to be fine.
Ketchup, not so much.
Yeah, well, even ketchup. Okay, fine. You just, take a napkin and dab
cold
some water on it.
Cold
done.
water and time.
Exactly.
Rapid response.
We are too concerned to a degree about caring for a wool kilt in all these scenarios where something bad could happen. Something bad is going to happen 1% of the time. It's really not going to matter all that much. We are too careful with our wool kilts, and they're more versatile and they're hardier than we are giving them credit for. And we on this show give them credit for. You can beat the hell out of a wool kilt and it will still be fine. I've worn this kilt hundreds of times at this point, and it still looks good. And if there's a little bit of schmutz on it, take it to the dry cleaner and have done with, like, boom, done, great. And launder it, and it'll be fine. You don't have to treat it like this delicate flower that is going to get destroyed at the slightest whiff of smoke that goes near it. It's not that delicate. You can beat the hell out of these things, and it'll be fine.
Assuming it's properly made. I think part of the problem...
Even without it being properly made, the fabric... Sorry.
Right. No, it's okay.
Got my blood up.
It's all right. It's okay. I was going to shag a dog about this, but I'm just going to cut it short. I'll just say.
Yeah, kilts are versatile in what you wear with them and where you wear them to. The material is versatile. Yes, you should have something if you want to wear a kilt every day to beat up, and that if there's a distinct worry, concern that something bad is going to happen, fine. Wear your cheap kilt that you don't mind screwing up. But outside of changing your oil, campfire, cigarette butts, whatever, wear a wool kilt. It's not that big of a deal if you can afford it. Done.
I've never built a campfire out of cigarette butts. That sounds really nasty.
Two different things. Shut up.
Okay.
No, but it's I'm
He's still going.
I am. I'm guilty of this, and I'm angry at my previous self. Damn you, old
Lord.
Rocky. They're hardier than we give them credit for. And I'm done. Draw a line under it. I'm no longer saying that you have to be all hoity-toity with your wool kilts. You can beat the hell out of it. That's the purpose. I don't care. Done. That's it. New me. Here. New leaf turned over right there. Done.
You guys remember at the beginning of the show when I said stay tuned to the second half of the show because it's going to get crazy? There you go.
More scotch.
Yeah.
Indeed. Mr. Mac, next question.
All right, since it looks like we're winding down here.
Yes. Winding down.
I don't know.
Riled up.
Okay.
This one
I'm going to go overtime tonight.
We'll go to your marketing side.
Oh, God.
right.
So, Gary and Pam on Facebook. They know this is a little off subject, but they're trying to come up with a Celtic name for a line of custom pool cues. It'd be great if you guys could help.
Ooh,
Do you have any thoughts?
you're a
This is
billiards
on the
person.
spot now.
Celtic billiard cubes.
I would probably go with the name. I would probably do something like simple, literally like Celtic cues. You play with the alliteration. I may go to heritage cues or something like that. What I would love to see, please do this, and then send me one for the idea. I don't know. I'll send you the fabric. A pool cue with tartan wrapped around it and then epoxy over it, with the wrap handle or leather or whatever, the cord or leather. Yes, I do enjoy a good game of billiards. I have a pool table in my basement. I have a Mucci cue myself. I've talked about having custom cues made in the past. We have a couple customers who are custom cue makers. Yes, this strikes at my heart. It pulls on the heartstrings. Any good names? You're more of a wordsmith than me to some degree.
I got nothing right now.
Pool cue.
My only idea is to translate pool shark into Gallic. Minnesota Fats and Gallic. I don't know. I have to percolate on this one.
We do have Stray Cat saying
Please.
skin cues, like skin dew.
And make it all black.
Yeah.
Like use a teak mahogany, kind of a dark wood stain on them.
Regimental cues is another one that's come up.
Because you can lift the edge of somebody's kilt with it.
I wasn't going to say what the inlays were going to look like.
Oh dear. Oh my.
Yeah, I need time to think on this.
Yeah.
But
It's
I
an
like
intriguing
heritage
idea.
cues. I like, Celtic cues.
Celtic cues is good for the alliteration. I agree.
Yeah, I love billiards. Oh, God, I love billiards. Snooker, I love all of it. Yes, indeed. All right, one more from you, Eric. Give me a fun one I can rant about.
Okay. A fun one you can rant about.
Yes, or get angry about or something. My blood's up.
So you don't want a technical question?
I don't care.
You really don't care? You want to rant, or you just want?
I haven't had enough good rants on this. I've had like 2 rants today. They're minuscule rants. I don't know. I'll let you pick. Dealer's choice. Why did you turn into Beaker?
Because I feel under pressure. So I thought I did all the fun questions already.
I'm gonna like go Swedish Chef and just start throwing stuff.
And I have questions that are more for me, but not for you. So, all right. I don't know.
All right.
Frick, I don't know. Mike Mullen, if one were to purchase a secondhand kilt on eBay, a retired rental, something like that, what would be your recommendation for cleaning, sanitizing the kilt? Nuclear fortified Lysol? Or just a tub washing?
I would tub wash it. Physically dunk it and soak it in water and that kind of thing. If you're concerned about like bugs kind of thing, I would, do the old freezer trick. You put it in a bag and stick it in your freezer for a few days. Just, kill anything that's in there.
Blah.
Yeah. I don't know. What would you do?
Probably that. I would shell out for a dry cleaning, frankly.
Okay.
Yeah. Just if you're getting a really good bargain on a kilt that way, then spend the money on a dry cleaning. Hand washing would be fine, but I think freezing it first would be good.
Okay.
So, yep. I'll give you one last question because that wasn't fun. This is a total gaffe. All right. Matthew Davis Jeffers asked us, which is better, Wawa or Sheetz?
Wawa and
Mac,
Sheetz.
you can join in on this one.
For those who don't know, there is a rabid debate, a rabid fan base around our convenience stores in the Philadelphia region, / Pennsylvania, I'll just say that. Sheetz is one company. They're more middle of the state-ish. Wawa, firmly planted in the Philadelphia region. And I think there's a couple in Florida. Anyway, there is not an actual question here. The answer is Wawa. We have Wawa across the street. Growing up in the Philadelphia region, there is only one, and that is Wawa. Mr. Erik.
No love for Turkey Hill?
Turkey Hill. There's Turkey Hill.
Turkey Hill
there's-
ice cream?
Yeah.
Doing ice cream.
Yeah.
I will confess to being a Wawa person. I'm down with the Waz.
Yes.
Mac?
So,
Oh boy, here we go.
Bring it.
It's
Bring it.
a
So,
dissertation.
I'll start with Turkey Hill. Turkey Hill is great for tea and ice cream.
Right on.
The convenience stores, they're terrible.
I know. I
Now,
can't deny
can
it.
we all agree?
But I grew up on the iced tea, so
No 7-Eleven.
Oh no,
no,
Good,
they don't
good,
count.
Good.
no. The Turkey Hill iced tea, the only thing is running through these veins. So Wawa or Sheetz? I go.
Go ahead,
Sheetz.
Lancaster boy.
I go Sheetz on this because Wawa, if I want something like chicken or something like that, I'd rather have my chicken deep fried than having it done in an easy bake oven like the Wawa has. Now, Wawa has recently gotten fryers.
They're chicken on the salads now, dude? Come on, broasted?
Those are good, but if you want like a the chicken strips that they have.
Mm-hmm.
They're terrible.
Okay.
The choice of pretzel roll that you can get, and I can order anything there as Sheetz off the menu, versus some of the things at Wawa, like breakfast sandwiches. You don't get necessarily the same choices that you can. So, like, if you wanted something that's already pre-made, but you might want to tweak it, you have to hunt someone down to make that change. Where Sheetz, I can make that change.
That's called
myself,
personal service, Mac.
right there.
Now,
It's made to order.
yes. Now, it's also a choose-your-own-adventure book of 97 different options of what you would want on your sandwich. Do you need mayo? Do you need extra mayo? Would you like deep fries? Do you need fries on your sandwich? Would you like pickles? Would you like fried pickles? How about fries and pickles? How about pickles with fries inside? It's
On the sandwich.
yes.
That's
on
not
the
a joke.
sandwich.
They actually.
Yes. No. Here. Okay. Done. I got it. You ready? The creepiest, weirdest, dumbest question on the Sheetz menu.
They're blowing out the mic.
Don't care. Redlining all over the place. Sheetz asks you, would you like to upgrade your meat? What kind of subpar bullshit meat are you feeding me
Language, Rocky. Language.
that you need me to upgrade it and spend more money on my meat? No, Wawa just has good meat. It's good. Would you like the crap meat that we feed the animals? Or would you like real human meat? If so, pay more. No.
Human meat? Which menu is that?
Yes, indeed. It's the Sheetz secret cannibal menu. Yes,
Long
indeed.
pig barbecue. Yeah.
No. That's it. No. 2-1. Sheetz. Now, I saw an interview with the guy, either founder or current CEO of Sheetz. It's owned by a family. He's actually a very nice guy, and I respect him as a business person, but my loyalties will not allow me to shop at Sheetz, nor stop there and get gas. So, no, can't do it. Sorry.
Wow.
Indeed. All right. Question of the day. This is for the billiard cue company trying to make Celtic cues. If you were to name a billiard cue company, pull cue, what would you name it if it's going to have a Celtic flair to it? I want to know in the comments. Tell us what you would name your Celtic cue company to give them ideas. And you can't lay claim to the name or copyright it. This is for them. So if they use it, thank you, but you get nothing out of it. But tell us in the comments, what would you name the company? I would like to know.
Okay.
They would like to know. Help us help them. Indeed. All right. With that being said, boys and girls, until next time, it's
SpongeBob.
You asked this favor of me, and I will grant you this favor, and someday I may ask a favor in return.